Ellen's comeback is horrible. Let's get right into it.
So it has been a very long time since we last talked about Ellen DeGeneres, and that's mainly because she had gone into hiding ever since
Yeah,
she was
facts. What the
basically
fuck
the
happened to
only
her,
person
bro?
to be legitimately cancelled. Well, her and that one Eagles fan, that is. For those of you who don't remember, or weren't around back then to remember, for years Ellen
The
was one of
fuck?
the most successful people in show
No,
business,
facts she was.
dancing around Target, embarrassing unassuming stay-at-home mothers for her own sick amusement, taking selfies with creepers, and who could forget cuddling with P. Diddy? And despite all of this foolishness, universally she did maintain a pretty good
This
reputation,
is the year of
even
cancel.
receiving some sort of humanitarian award from Obama back when he was still president. On top of that, her show was insanely popular for over a decade, and by the end of it, she was making well over $50 million a year, with
Damn.
tons of sponsorships and other
What the
opportunities
fuck?
rolling in every single
Give
day.
me some,
And keep
Ellen!
in mind, guys, this is back when you could find an oddly shaped Cheeto and end up on that godforsaken couch. And people ate this shit up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and she was essentially being forced down our throats for a very long time. But for Ellen, it wasn't always like this. She had to grind for years to become a successful stand-up comedian back
Oh,
in the
that's like
late
everybody.
80s and early 90s.
It's like everybody.
And after being voted the funniest comedian in the country and making a few appearances on late-night television, she would come out with her own
Oh
self-titled
my.
sitcom that did very well. That wasn't until she revealed her sexuality both on the show and in real life.
Susan, I'm gay.
What? When did she do this? This had to have been years, like a long ass time ago, right? That shit looks old as shit. No cap.
And the ratings plummeted because the world was not socially ready for that during the 90s.
And then everybody got so sick of it, it got to the point where even Elton John, who I'd never met in my life,
Wait, that was the 90s? So, bro, everybody was against gay in the 90s, but now everybody's fucking with everything. Crazy.
Elton John said, "We know you're gay, shut up and be funny."
The
It's funny because
fuck?
all along that was my biggest fear, is that it was going to get canceled. I never wanted to be an activist. I just wanted to entertain people. I just wanted to make people feel good.
So then she was outcasted, but slowly made her way
Mm,
back.
okay.
And of course, she gets the speaking role for Dory in Finding Nemo, which was a massive
The
hit.
fuck?
Keep swimming, swimming, swimming.
And this leads to her getting her foot back into the entertainment door and eventually becoming a titan in daytime television. And so for years, her infamous catchphrase on her show that represented her entire brand was "be kind to one another," as people even referred to Ellen as the Queen of Nice, which of course turned out to be horrifically ironic in the end. In 2020, hundreds of stories went viral on social media describing Ellen as a bully both at work and in her personal life. Talks of a toxic work environment were at the forefront of these complaints, including racist undertones, intimidation, and even sexual misconduct from high-level employees were all alleged against Ellen and this workplace that she had created. High-level
Damn.
employees, from producers to talent on the show, have all corroborated these allegations of a toxic work environment.
Were you surprised by the sheer number of responses that you got?
I actually was surprised by that, and especially the variety of different kinds of stories that
Who is this guy?
perpetuated all those rumors and kind of hearsay about, like, oh, Ellen is not quite as nice as she seems, and she would appear.
Muscat.
Bro, that's like everybody though. Like, you think all these, like, okay, some streamers are actually true to this stuff, but you think all these streamers are fucking nice, like off stream as they are off stream? You think that, like, just because they give money away online, you think that they're gonna go offline and do it, bro? No, bro, it's because it's for content. All right, and who knows? I've heard like a thing of like that you like YouTubers and streamers. Like, I would never be like this, by the way. But YouTubers and streamers, they go offline and then they ask for the money back, or they give them fake cash, like dead ass. Like, I've heard like stuff like that. So, you know what I'm saying?
Won 2 daytime Emmys with the show. She was let go in 2004.
As a host, she's amazing as a host. But as a boss and someone who's behind the scenes running the show, she's a different person. She's not the person people see in front of the camera. This environment, this toxic culture
Well, no shit. They don't want to get fucking canceled.
she created in the office has been going on for 16 years.
While I am grateful for the opportunity it afforded me, I did experience and feel the toxicity of the environment, he writes on Instagram.
Allegedly, Ellen was sending people home if she didn't like how you smelled. People were not allowed to eat certain types of food while on set. There were stories of employees being terminated suddenly and without reason. Many employees were allegedly trained to not even make eye contact or expect to be acknowledged by Ellen.
A former
Oh, hell no. So, she got ego?
Ellen staffer
Oh,
writes, I
nah.
saw Ellen in the hallways every day and would say hello, and she never once said hello.
What?
She wouldn't smile. She wouldn't even acknowledge me at all for 2 seasons.
And it sounds like she would go out of her way to publicly embarrass employees on a consistent basis. Basically, it seems like Ellen is one of those people who thinks she is better than others, and she wants to let them know it by acting like they are the dirt underneath her shoe if she deems you or your job is unimportant. Understand, guys, that these stories were not only coming from the workplace, but also from people who were dealing with Ellen in her everyday life. Like this bodyguard who frequently works with celebrities, who said that Ellen was the first and only who he had ever worked for to not even acknowledge his presence. And this waitress who claims that Ellen went out of her way to email her boss to try and get her fired over chipped nail polish.
She emailed the owner of the restaurant and complained about your chipped nail polish.
What?
And I was like,
Wait. So, what I'm getting from this is Ellen, she called just because you had chipped nail polish. Oh, she a bougie. She bougie as it. Man, get the fuck out of here, bro. Not everybody has the money you do, bro. Damn.
what?
Not only that, but also during her show, her audience members who got to participate in her games and whatnot also had stories of her being an elitist douchebag.
You just expect a lot when you go to meet like your idol, and then when you get disappointed, it's like such a letdown. And they tell you, you know, you can't be
motherfuckers just get too greedy for money. Like, bro, when money comes into play, they do anything, bro.
Then Ellen, she's the comedian and the star, not you, would only speak to the audience when the cameras were rolling. As soon as they turned the cameras off, she would not even acknowledge the audience. She would just sit on the couch, basically.
And even when she went over to Australia to do some shows over there, this is what a radio show host who was invited on had to say about his experience and how Ellen treated her
Bro, this
staff.
is crazy!
Called us aside and said, now, Neil, no one's to talk to Ellen. So you don't talk to her, you don't approach her, you don't look at her. The people who worked with her walked on eggshells the whole time, and the whole thing was totally bizarre. Like, we're there to do an interview with her to promote what she's doing, but you can't look at her? Like, someone get real.
And obviously, with her having this long-standing reputation as this person who promoted nothing but positivity, people were shocked and outraged at this walking contradiction that Ellen had become. And at the time, when she tried and failed to make a comeback, she also gave this half-assed apology letter where she tried to dump the blame on everyone else.
I'm just so sorry that it's come to this. I really don't know what to say other than this has gone on way too long. People have gotten away with murder.
Basically said she had no idea that this is what life was like on set. Given just the nature of the show is that her employees should love coming to work, no question.
DeGeneres saying she wasn't perfect and realized that some leaders were not...
Bitch, nobody's perfect! But the fact that you're doing all this, bro, I wouldn't even do this!
...as sensitive to human beings as they should have been, adding that reading disturbing allegations about the atmosphere on the show was heartbreaking.
So when Ellen says she's not aware of this environment, you don't think that rings true?
It's a lie.
And this would become a running theme for Ellen not to take any true accountability for her downfalls.
Facts.
And then she also addressed the situation poorly on her show, basically saying that if these things were going on, that she had no idea about it, while those making the accusations made it sound like she was the ringleader.
How was everybody's summer? Good? Yeah? Mine was great. Being known as the Be Kind Lady is a tricky position to be in. So let me give you some advice out there. If anybody's thinking of changing their title or giving yourself a nickname, do not go with the Be Kind Lady.
And this shit somehow gets even more dystopian when you realize that this was the audience she was standing in front of. The show after that ran for 2 years, and it was essentially a corpse of itself. Forced laughter, forced kindness, and it was clear that Ellen was feeling the pressure while crying about the situation
Shit
she
is
put
so
herself
dumb.
in. Ratings were at an all-time low, and old clips began to resurface that further shined a light on the downright douchebaggery that Ellen displayed during her interactions with various guests on her show over the years, only further adding to the cancellation of Ellen and her empire of a brand. And now, guys, a whopping 4 years after she was thrown away like a wallet condom, Ellen is back with a stand-up special of all things. And Grandma is holding no punches on this one when it comes to her quest for self-pity. It opens with the classic comedian in the green room shot as she seemingly reflects on her career. But this moment of reflection quickly turns bitter as poor Ellen is ironically painted as being hurt by the mean headlines. And I knew that we were in for a doozy as soon as she walked up the stairs and they showed various headlines from her cancellation era, and that apparently she was accused of going too far and being too gay. Yes, I'm serious.
Being accused of going too far, too gay.
As if that had absolutely anything to do with why people have a problem with her at this point. And that should have been the moment that we all should have known that she was going to play the...
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. These celebrities do weird shit. Like, some of these celebrities, even, like, some of these celebrities that you, like, watch on TV, like, on Netflix or anything, bro. Like, some of these actors, like, bro, like, they're all over, bro. Like, there's... Just watching the coming years, there's probably gonna be some other shit that comes out up against like some of these actors. Just watch, bro. Like it's like growing and growing. Like more and more people are getting canceled for shit that they do. Like people used to support Diddy, but then they found out like exactly what it did. It came to light eventually. Everything's gonna come to light eventually, and just to be on the lookout for more people getting canceled.
Victim here. I mean, seriously, you had 4 years to reflect. Do therapy, ayahuasca in a dirt field with Aaron Rodgers and George Bush, and this is what you come up with? And then they directly address the elephant in the room, her cancellation.
Breaking news tonight, is the Queen of Nice
She ain't no damn queen, fuck her.
really the Queen of Me?
Toxic, phony, hypocrite, liar.
I mean, with situations like this, it's almost gotten to the point where I truly...
What? You can come up with a dog. I'm filming a YouTube video real quick. I'll be up in like, give me a couple minutes. Alright, man.
They believe that some people just lack the ability to take any sort of accountability.
Bro, this shit is
She
crazy,
even tries
y'all.
to foreshadow her eventual downfall with a quote from one of her older stand-up specials.
Years ago, I started ending my show by saying, be kind to one another. Here's the downside. I can never do anything unkind ever now.
This toxic workplace angle was the shit that I expected. Now this is when
shit is nuts,
Ellen
bro.
comes out and a sea of middle-aged white faces just go insane. I mean, I'm serious. I paused the video, I loaded it in 4K, and I didn't see a drop of melanin in the crowd, or anyone under the age of 40 for that matter. She starts out with Botox and face filler jokes.
Nobody watch her
and
fucking that is
parlays
like
into
under
another
40, bro.
joke
That
about
ass.
parallel parking.
I think we all care what people think. We can say we don't. We can pretend we don't care what people think, but all it takes is trying to parallel park in front of a crowded outdoor cafe. Spot looks big enough. You line it up the way you always do. You pull in, cut it a little too close. You're scraping the hubcap the entire way along the curb.
I'm sorry, but on a personal level,
Shit ain't even funny,
Grandma's
bro.
parking lot adventures just aren't doing it for me. It has the same energy as a boomer trying to step into this century and learn to use an iPhone. She goes on and on about how she doesn't know how to use the basic functions of her car like her fucking windshield wipers, and how embarrassing it apparently is when she cannot turn them off.
Like even if we just can't figure out how to turn our windshield wipers off, which to me is one of the most embarrassing things, is driving a car when it's...
Oh, this shit ain't funny. Get this shit off my screen, bruh.
And then you're trying to fiddle with it, trying to turn it off, and you don't know how to turn it off because it's
gosh,
always different.
bro.
Sometimes it's on the end of the lever on the steering wheel. Sometimes there's a lever within the lever.
Ellen, just stop the
Cringe,
bullshit.
bro.
We know that you have absolutely no shame with your conniving ass. I mean, to be fair, she's always been a pretty clean comedian when it comes to her stand-up, and she's kind of cut from that same cloth as Jerry Seinfeld, which is really not my type of stand-up. Regardless, this whole thing is just not very enticing so far.
Don't get me started on the dashboard lights, too. Dashboard lights are not illuminated all the time, so when they are, it must mean something serious, right? But check engine...
Bro, shut your bitch ass up, boy.
That's vague.
I've checked it. It's there.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I mean, you go away for almost 4 years, and this is what you come up with? With all the crazy shit that has taken place in the world, and we gotta hear about your inability to understand cars for 20 minutes?
I have never used my parking brake. I've never parked my car and thought, I want it more parked than this.
Now after this, she
Horny,
does jump right
bro.
to the cancellation, which I really think was the whole purpose of the special and her tour in general.
All right, let me see what else I can tell you about that. It's been going on. Oh yeah, I got kicked out of show business. Yeah, because I'm mean.
The fuck did she pull out of her pocket?
Yeah, you can't be mean and be in show business. No, they'll kick you out.
And then she kind of half cries about the fact that when she goes to a restaurant, people are just waiting for her to be a bitch or to do something mean, and how she's beyond sick of this mean queen label. And I will admit, some of the dialogue here is pretty funny. I do like this little part about her talking with the therapist about the cancellation.
At one point, my therapist said, Ellen, where do you get this idea that everyone hates you? And I said, well, New York Times, Washington Post.
She then talks about the ironic send-off phrase that she used to use saying to be kind to one another, and that it would have been better if she said,
go fuck yourselves.
Okay, well, fuck you!
So Grandma's really living life on the edge here.
Obviously, you went to go
the
fuck
mask
yourself.
has slipped, and she has started to admit her own intolerance for everyday people. And this is when the real deflection starts. Basically, she jokes that harmless pranks and games were the reason behind the toxic workplace allegations. She also claims that she never even wanted to be the boss, and that she wasn't in charge on the set of her shows, which is a way different tune than what she was singing when she did her first show back after the drama.
I know that I'm in a position of privilege and power, and I realize that with that comes responsibility.
Blah, blah, fucking blah, blah, blah.
This is the Ellen DeGeneres
Same
show.
shit,
I am
fuck you.
Ellen DeGeneres. My name is there. My name is there.
Nobody gives a fuck,
My name
boy.
Is on underwear.
I mean, it looked like I was the boss. The show was called
Nobody gives
Ellen,
a
and everybody
fuck.
was wearing T-shirts that said Ellen, and there were buildings all over the Warner Brothers lot that said Ellen. But I don't think that meant that I should be in charge.
I mean, talk about a lazy-ass cop-out when people have gone on record to say that she was the main culprit in creating this environment where bully behavior ran rampant. She also tries to make the point that she got canceled because she is a woman.
Most women aren't raised with confidence. We just aren't, and we're too self-conscious, which is why you rarely see a woman playing air guitar.
Bro. Her shit is cringe, bro.
Look, Ellen, you didn't get canceled for being a woman. You got canceled for being a fraud. The physical comedy in general here is pretty bad, but hey, she
Look
is
at
like
what she's
70
wearing, bro. Get the
years
fuck
old.
out of here, bro.
She continues here to hammer down the point that she
Fucking
got
wear some
canceled
Skechers.
because she was too far against the grain.
Eventually, they're going to kick me out a third time for being old, mean, old, and gay, the Triple Crown.
Honestly, I would argue that she's become so famous because she was unapologetically gay at a time when it was not very common or accepted. And yes, at that time, she did take a huge chance and faced a lot of backlash for doing so, but it obviously made her a pioneer in the entertainment space, and really a gay icon
it did, didn't
forever.
it?
She then makes this weird illusion that she might be kind of autistic.
Someone did suggest that I get tested to see if I'm on the spectrum. And, well, I am on the spectrum. We all are. It's a spectrum.
Bro, she thinks shit is funny, bro. This shit is not funny, bro. Like, oh my
And then
god,
she claims
bro.
that she has OCD, and she even says that she has ADD. I don't know. This whole special isn't actually the worst thing I've seen in recent times.
Alright, bro. You know what? That's all I fucking needed to see, man. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, and tell them this video I'm out. Peace.